Now, thanks to the global success of Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke went from being little known to world famous even before the first season of the hit show had ended. Her London stage debut this month sees her playing a young, struggling actress in a newly imagined version of The Seagull by Anton Chekhov. I met up with Emilia recently and we talked firstly about how much fame had changed her career and how Game of Thrones helped her overcome a life-threatening health crisis.
I'm not here to murder. And all I want to destroy is the wheel that has rolled over rich and poor, to the benefit of no one but the Cersei Lannisters of the world. I offer you a choice. Bend the knee and join me. Together, we will leave the world a better place than we found it. Or refuse. And die.
I was not recognised as much because I have dark hair and I obviously wore a platinum wig for the show. So I'd be often taking the photos for Kit. They'd be like, "Can you take this picture?" I'm like, "Of course I can. Absolutely I can." Brilliant. So I kind of got to hide a little bit, which was helpful. And I had a couple of brain hemorrhages, and that kind of, you know, you gain a lot of perspective, and it puts your head in a different place when dealing with the kind of juggernaut of being on a successful show.
I got obviously reel back a little bit there because you just threw in. I had a couple of brain hemorrhages.
I tend to do that.
But that, I mean, what happened to you was awful. I mean, you had 2 brain hemorrhages, didn't you?
Yeah.
Which are effectively strokes. It's a stroke, and you had one, and then you had one 2 years later. What was that? 2011, 2013?
Yeah, 2011 and 2013.
And did you just collapse? I mean, what happened?
Just the most excruciating pain. Huge vomiting, trying to regain consciousness, trying to stay. I kept asking myself all these questions. I hilariously kept saying lines from the show in my head because I knew, for some reason, I must have watched it on Tomorrow's World at some point in my life, that if you're throwing up and you have a headache, then that's not good for your brain.
And you were so young to have that.
Yeah. So I was, what, 22, 23, 22? But it was incredibly helpful having Game of Thrones to sweep me up and give me that, like, purpose.
And the impact on you physically?
The amount of my brain that is no longer usable, it's remarkable that I am able to speak, sometimes articulately, and live my life completely normally with absolutely no repercussions. I am in the really, really, really small minority of people that can survive that.
Because you never know. I mean, talking to you, you would never know. And you've seen a scan of your brain, haven't you?
Yeah, and there's quite a bit missing.
Literally, really?
Yeah, which always makes me laugh. Yes, yeah. Because strokes, basically, as soon as any part of your brain doesn't get blood for a second, it's gone. And so the blood finds a different route to get around. But then whatever bit it's missing is therefore gone. It just kind of shows how little of our brains we actually use.
How do you just keep going with that knowledge? I mean, do you just stop thinking about it?
I can do a 2.5-hour play every single night and not forget a line. And I always had a good memory because it is the only thing. It is the only skill as an actor. That's all you have to do. You just have to remember some lines. So your memory is obviously incredibly important, and I consistently tested that. But I gave up wondering because I thought, well, this is who you are. This is the brain that you have. So there's no point in kind of continually racking your brains as to what might not be there, because what you have now is great. So let's work with that.
Extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary, and amazing that you've got the confidence and the courage, and you can still do it, and the memory to, you know, stand here and perform in front of all these people in the Seagull. The character you're playing, Nina, craves fame, doesn't she, more than anything? I mean, she says, I'll go through poverty, I'll go through anything in order to have fame.
Yes.
I presume that is not how you feel about fame.
No. That's actually been the biggest. It's fascinating getting to explore this character within that kind of mentality of what is it that brings people to think that fame is going to make everything better. It looks just sort of so enticing. How could someone not want to experience that for themselves? And then you do, and it sucks.
So fame isn't quite what you thought it would be. What about being on stage? Because obviously you were desperate to be in the stage. Is that what you thought it would be?
Yes.
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 In what way?
It's the greatest feeling in the world. It's so magical, and it's different every single night, and it's just this rush that I can't get enough of.
And why did you choose this role? Because this is your West End debut, isn't it? I mean, you could have done, you know, with the Game of Thrones behind you, you could have really done all kinds of things, couldn't you? You could have done the big sort of extravaganzas, you could have done but it's a small theatre, it's a very intimate production, and it's a very stripped back set. Why this role?
The opportunity to play Nina in the Seagull on the West End stage with a lauded, applauded, incredible director like Jamie Lloyd, I was like, well, it's been a kind of profound experience, I really have to say, because it's daring, taking such a beloved and well-known play like this and putting it in such a modern, stripped-back, bare. You can't hide behind a prop, you can't lean on something, you can't, you know, all these sort of like little tells that as actors you have to kind of calm your nerves down sometimes, where you're like, I'll just pour a glass of something, or sort of, you know, move somehow, make the bed. You don't have those opportunities to lean on, so you literally just have to just stand there and give the audience everything that you can to serve the story that we're trying to tell. And that's tricky, but it's why you do theatre. It's so exciting.
And what a place to do it. Well, very good luck with it.
Thank
you very much for talking to us.
Thank you, thanks.
The lovely Emilia Clarke there. And that production of The Seagull is at the Harold Pinter Theatre in London. Emilia founded a charity to help people who have experienced brain injuries like those that she was talking about in that interview. And it focuses on emotional and mental health recovery for people who have been through similar traumas. So if you want to find out more about it, her charity is called Same You.